Yeah. So I remember when I got to New York, I was just playing the song New York, where countries are made of, there's nothing you can do. Now you're in New York. So that was the song that I was just playing. As soon as I stepped foot in JFK Airport, the immigration control, they are hard now. I got there and they're asking me for my return ticket. They needed to see that. They opened my bags. In fact, they damaged my baggage just to see if there was anything in or whether to know if I would really come back. Because again, I was carrying two bags for a 3.5 week trip, which was a bit suspicious. So I remember the visa consul was warning me that although I'm having a 90-day stay, if I dare overstay, I'm gonna have trouble. And I was like, sir, I do not have any intention of overstaying my current stay because I have a business in Ghana.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Convos from Abroad. My name is PK Kwe. Today on this episode, I've been joined in by Nana Kofi Afriyie, also known as Hendrix. Recently, we've seen his updates on social media of his trips in Germany, and then the most recent one was in New York. So we brought him here to find out the secrets, what he knows that others don't, so that some of the youth here in Ghana who is looking to explore other nations can also take advantage. You're welcome, Hendrix.
Thank you very much, Patrick, and good to see you. It's been long.
Yeah, good to have you back. You're back in Ghana, right?
Yes, in Ghana
Okay,
now.
okay. So for the purpose of our audience who are seeing and hearing from you for the first time, we love to know who you are and what you do, and then we can take it from there.
Okay, so hello everyone. I am Hendrix Anakofi, as Patrick rightly said. I am an agricultural enthusiast. Currently, I'm running a project or company called Merdeo Foods, where we connect local smallholder farmers directly to urban restaurants. And we're doing this through our e-commerce and cold solar storage platform to make food more affordable and accessible. Anytime I'm not working, you'll find me on the golf course or playing Monopoly or chatting with friends. I really like to travel, and I thank God my work or my company has given me the exposure and the chance to do so.
Wow, good to hear from you. So as you may already know, the main reason why we brought you here is the travels that you've been involved in lately. I think on somewhere last year, the same time, um, you were in Germany, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken.
Yep.
Yes, and then this year too, we've seen you in New York. How many days did you spend over there in New York?
So I spent 3.5 weeks, so let's say a month.
3.5 weeks. Oh, okay, I see. Wow. Which country was your first travel outside?
Okay, I would say US again because I went to the States in 2011, but it was for a different reason. So US has been my very first country to visit.
No, okay, I see. And then so the recent ones that we saw on social media, the Germany and then the New York, what took you there? What was your mission over there?
Okay, so I'll just take you a step back. So in 2011, I was trying to be a diplomat because my mother was a diplomat and she worked with the United Nations. And I loved to see how she travels the world and she gets all those amazing perks like free food or a driver and things like that. So growing up, I was like, oh, I want to be a diplomat. But then fast forward, when I came to University of Ghana, I went for a conference called the Dynamis Conference. And in the Dynamis Conference, it was a speaker called one Mr. Pimpin, who mounted the podium and he actually shouted, I would say, he exclaimed that we need to find jobs because there are no longer jobs for the youth. And so I started a restaurant business on campus. I employed about two staff. while juggling my studies in the University of Ghana, of course. And I remember at some point we were run out of stocks and prices just kept fluctuating here and there. So, fast forward, I said, I'm going to start a project. I'm going to start a business that is tackling this menace of prices of food always keeping up, soaring and things like that. And then I came in with Merdeo. So I then branched from diplomacy to becoming a social entrepreneur. And Merdeo, because I was vocal, pretty much vocal about it, that is what led me to get my first international trip, my second international trip to Germany. So my first international trip was on the line of diplomacy, but then I switched to become a business person. And so Germany I would say, was my first international business trip. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's how I got in.
Wow, wow. And we all run businesses. I believe some young people have businesses that are very active and serving a number of audience. So
Right.
what makes you different from other young people that are also running business? What did you see? How did you get opportunities to travel abroad that other young people didn't get to see?
That's a very interesting question because again, if you look at my business model, right? Again, I am not downplaying my business. In fact, it's solving a big problem. But let's take it piece by piece. First of all, not only are we doing something that is already being done, but we are simply a middleman. We are linking farmers in remote areas directly to market access in the city. Now, this is already done because when you go to Medina Market or when you go to Agribusiness Market, early in the morning, you get to see these market queens buying from people who have gone to the farms to aggregate. But I'll say what made me stand out was the fact that I know how to tell a story because you need to find a way to craft a story so that the audience or the investors or whoever that will take you on the fully sponsored trip understands the impact of your business. And that is how I crafted it. So I imagine me saying that I'm saying we are tackling post-harvest losses, right? Post-harvest loss in a sense because we are providing farmers with the access to market. And once I was able to craft the story, the international jury looked at my essay or my application and said, no, this guy is up to something big. And so I think it's how you craft the story because nothing is new under the sun. So long as you have a good story to tell, you are good to go.
Okay. So on which vehicle did you get the opportunity to travel with your business?
Yes. So just like I said, it was my first international business trip was Germany.
Mhm.
So that was last year, September. So around this time, September 2024. Applications were open in April. And I remember even applying like 2 days before the deadline. Yes. And so they asked questions like, what's the business model? What's the impact? How many jobs have you created so far? I answered all those questions successfully. And the next thing was, okay, you have been selected and you need to prepare to come to Germany. And so I remember going for the visa interview process. They checked my bio data, they checked my background, and they realized I was good to go. So I got like a month of Schengen visa, and I went for the business trip.
Okay. Okay. So how many are you in terms of staff with your business?
Currently, we are
How many are you?
six. So Merdeo
Okay.
Foods, we are six. It comprises of myself, it comprises of the operations officer, the creative director, the driver, the tech officer, and one sales agent.
Oh, okay. Okay. When it comes to starting and running a business, one of the key challenges is finance. How did you navigate financing your business when you started till date?
Well, for me, I will say I didn't come from a rich home. Again, I was just from an average normal home. And so I remember when I started this business, when I started my first business, which was the restaurant business, I knew I wasn't going to have enough capital for that. So I spoke to friends and told them about the idea of starting a restaurant business because most of us at that time wanted something different because the only meal as at that time in our hostel was wachi and wanted to sell gobe. So it was more like, okay, why don't we come together, pool our resources together, and then start this business. So I think one way you can do this is talking to other friends. We should leverage and collaborate with each other's resources so we can be able to build a business. And I think like that's one thing we Ghanaians are failing to do. Like young people, we do not want to collaborate. We always want to take the bigger chunk. Why don't we collaborate? Why don't we share ideas and resources together? And at the end of the day, everyone gets to eat some.
Hmm.
Aside that, I remember when I started, so when I transitioned into Merdeo, I then also looked at applying for grants. Now, grants is one powerful way to get money to supplement your business operations here in Ghana because, again, it is tough out there. So it will circle back to you being able to craft a story to impress whoever you would want to get money from. And so far for me, I would say I've been lucky enough to raise about 60,000 US dollars free money. I didn't have to pay back. I didn't pay any dime back. All I did was to use the money for its intended purpose and also come up with reports to give to the jury or whoever that invested in the idea.
Hmm. Okay, apart from grants, has there been any other source of financing, maybe debt financing or equity financing whatsoever?
Well, at the moment, Mastercard Foundation is running debt financing. And so we are now opening up for that. But at the moment, we haven't tried it. And so I will not be the best person to advise
Okay,
on debt financing. So far,
okay,
for my journey, it has been grant financing and at the same time leveraging other friends' resources.
okay. And in terms of grant financing, where did you find these donors from? Which platforms? Where did you hear from? How did you get to hear these opportunities for you to leverage on?
So Um, how will I say this? Okay, I think my friends opened up the door for me because myself, I didn't know. So it was a friend who said, you know what, Hendrix, I think you should look at this organization because they give grants. And I applied, right? I remember, okay, so this is how it even happened. Let me just say the story. I was going through my WhatsApp status as at that time. And
Mhm.
I chanced on his status and I was like, Isaac, what's this? And he says it's junior achievers, they're having a program and they're looking for entrepreneurs. I was like, okay, well, I've just finished school. I'm thinking of doing another thing. So why don't I go there? And so when I went, that's how come I was introduced to grants. So I remember my first grant from that organization was about 60,000 Ghana cedis. And then it's gave me it propels me to now start looking for more grants. So I would say I was lucky a bit in all honesty, I was lucky a bit to go on my WhatsApp status at that time, to find Isaac at that time, to go and get the program at that time, and then apply and then get the money at that time. But if you're looking at website, I think the very first place to look at is Opportunity Desk. So opportunitydesk.com. So together, you do not separate it. They give a lot of opportunities. Once you subscribe, you get access to weekly emails, and then you can go through step by step and apply for opportunities that befit your business. So if you go to opportunitydesk.com and you see a grant opportunity for health, if your business is in agric, you have no business in health, so you do not apply because you'll be automatically bounced. So that's how I do it. So I go through every opportunity by every opportunity and then select the ones that are for my sector, which is agriculture, and I apply.
Amazing, amazing. So that means the lesson I pick from here is that you need to surround yourself with the right kind of people so that you get
Mm.
to know some of these things happening. And I believe
Yes.
the Germany opportunity to it was being sent by a friend, or how did you?
Yes. Yes, yes. So I
Okay.
was, yeah, asking very good questions. So what happened was I
Mhm.
called a friend, he's called John Ofori. So I was like, John, you know what? I'm just bored at home. Can I come over to your place? And he's like, okay, yeah, cool, I can come over. And so I remember that morning I was still lazy in bed, and then he's like, yo, Hendrix, I've seen this opportunity. I think you'll be a good fit. So then he sent it to me that I should apply. And lo and behold, I applied and I got in. So yeah.
Wow. Then we all need friends like we all need to get into your circle to get some of these opportunities because it looks
Yeah.
like, yeah. Okay. So, what was the purpose for traveling to Germany and what kind of things did you do over there when you went?
So the Germany program, they just closed applications, and in fact, they've selected the next batch of leaders. So those who are interested, you can look for it to apply next year. So they're looking for leaders again. As a last state, we're looking for leaders in agriculture, health, circular economy, and I think big data. And so I looked at the application and saw that once agriculture was part of the themes they were looking out for, then it really fits what I do as a business. And so I applied. It was basically to bring together 40 young emerging leaders across the African continent and Germany to come together in Berlin, network, build sustainable connections, and then come up with ideas on how to make the world a better place in terms of circular economy. Then we also had more like exposure tours and networking events, of course, to build our ecosystem, to build a better ecosystem between Africa and Germany. So that was the main reason behind the organization of
Hmm,
the program.
I see. Since Germany was your second international travel, how was the experience, the initial experience like when you first got your foot on the land of Germany?
It was amazing. I got to Berlin with a cold. I don't know what happened, but when I got to Berlin, I had a severe cold. I now had to find my way to a pharmacy to get some drugs to relieve myself. And I also got lost because again, I was trying to locate a hotel. And I had to be bold enough to ask whites because again, they speak Dutch and they speak English. So you wouldn't know who speaks what. And so I remember I had to be brave enough and be like, hi, do you speak English? And some of them were, no, 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 Dutchy Dutch, not Dutch, Dutch. And you just have to take your embarrassment somewhere. But eventually, I was able to find my way to the hotel. I got in, and then the next day, in fact, that day was a networking event, but because I arrived late, I missed it. And the next day, we started the program. So it was a 1 week intensive program. However, I was able to extend my stay because I informed the visa consul that I wish to extend my stay.
Oh, okay. So how long did you spend over there?
2.5 weeks.
Okay, but the original
It was
program
for 1 week.
period was one
And
week.
it was
Okay,
fully sponsored. They paid
okay.
for my visa. All I had to do was to sit in the aircraft and come. That was it.
Wow, wow. And then apart from Ghana, were there other African countries?
Oh yes, we had people from Rwanda. In fact, I got the opportunity to meet one beautiful young entrepreneur who has gotten over 300,000 US dollars in funding. So I got to network with her, and I've built amazing connections with her. And there were people from Ethiopia as well, and then the other countries were Tunisia and Germany.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing. So your network keep growing and and growing.
exactly. Thanks to these
Wow.
programs.
So during your stay there in Germany, what are some of the cultural um, differences you noticed in the land of the Germans and then elsewhere, maybe in Ghana or the US when you went first time?
Cool, cool. So I'll start with Germany and I'll come to US.
Mm.
Germany, oh no. They have it's called sonets. I don't know in Ghana we also have sonets, but then the cultural shock I had was when I went there and I said, oh, me, I'm now a big man, so Charlie, I'm trying big man levels, I went to a sauna. So I went to the sauna. I mean, it was hot, so of course you just remove your top and you're down, right? And it was just left with my boxers. Now I went in only for I saw like three men sitting in the sauna, completely naked. And yes, and then there were women also on the other end. So whilst men are here, you see the women, but just that there's a glass that is partitioning us. And the men were like, "Hi, are you going to remove this or you're coming in with this?" I was like, "I was
The
coming in."
women were naked too.
Yeah, the women were also naked. They're showing their breasts, they're showing everything, full show.
Hey,
Yes, and
you took videos and
it was,
pictures.
they told me, no, it's not allowed here. You need to
Okay, you took
remove
videos with
it.
your eyes.
Yes, so I had to remove it and go and sit down with no towel.
Wow.
Yes, so the
You
towel
really enjoyed yourself.
you put the towel, you put the towel on the wood and you sit on it completely naked. And that was a cultural shock to me because in
Wow.
Ghana, we are more reserved when it comes to these things. And so, yeah, for the sauna experience, I was culturally shocked.
Wow. Were you
And
the only
then
African there? Were your other friends with you?
no, 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 no. I by then I was alone
Okay.
with the Germans. Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes,
Were
yes.
you able to learn some small Dutch
Oh, yeah,
to have your way
I
around?
think 2 weeks before, but Charlie, I'm far away. It just it wasn't
Okay, I see.
thing.
I see. Okay, so when you returned from Germany to Ghana, and that's last year and then this year you got the chance to travel again
Yes,
to New York under the same
no, a
program.
different program.
Okay, so last year's program was
The Agile, so
Agile,
African German young leaders in business.
and then
The
this
AFS
year's
global
program is what?
program.
And that one too, how did you get to hear of it?
Okay. So that one too, it happened on the same incident, another friend called Prince. So
Hmm.
what happened was we both of us had applied for a program under the Dutch government. So the Dutch government, sorry, the German government, right? They have a government agency here in Ghana called GIZ. And so we applied for a program under that intervention. And Prince was initially calling me to find out if I have received my grant funds. And I told him no, I'm yet to receive it. And he's like, he too hasn't received his. So we ended up talking about business and some of the challenges we are facing in our respective social enterprises. And then he's like, aha, lest I forget, there is this program that he would want me to be a part of. He was there last year and it was really helpful for him. I was like, okay, cool. Let me know more about the program. So then he sent it to me and I read through. It was the AFS intercultural programs. And what they were doing is similar to Agile, but in the context of having different academies for different agendas. So there was the climate entrepreneurship track or the climate entrepreneurship academy. And that's where I found myself in. Again, someone will be asking, how does linking farmers to restaurants got to do with climate entrepreneurship? Again, it's all about how you craft the story. So I crafted a story and informed the jury that this is my passion and this is what I want to do. And that was in February. And so it came out in April that, hey, I've been selected and I need to now prepare. Oh my God, the US visa will come. I have to prepare to come to the United States in August. And voila, that was it.
Wow. And I know that it's quite difficult securing visa
Hmm.
from Ghana to the US. Tell us
Hey,
your experience,
can I drink
the
some water
process.
for this? I beg.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Hmm.
Drink all you can. Hmm.
The US visa. I don't know. Me, I thank God I got it though, but it's stressful. Patrick, I don't know how to say this. It's stressful. Where should I even start?
Start from the bottom. When you got the information that you've been selected, what
Okay,
was the next process?
yes. So I got the email that look, I am not supposed to contact AFS in relation to US visa. They will not help me. So what that essentially meant was I am on my own. I need to figure out how I'll get the visa. So, what did I do? I those of your audience who have a US visa will get to attest to this. When you are applying for a US visa, you're supposed to go and get a visa receipt, like go to the bank and purchase. But before that, you're supposed to apply. You go on the what we call there's a platform, ATS, something like that. But you have to go there and fill in prior to getting the receipt. So no, I didn't know all this. Patrick, I went to the bank because I called a friend of mine. Yes, I told her that, listen, I'm coming to get a visa, GT Bank specifically. And she's like, oh, okay, I should come to her branch so that I can get a visa. It's like, okay. So I went, and then she's asking me that, hey, I should put in my details. So I needed to go on the platform, the computer, and put in my details. Lo and behold, because I hadn't put in the my details on the platform, right? I wasn't able to get the receipt as at that time. And so I started shaking. The one gentleman called Apia out from nowhere. Funny enough, he was also in the bank at the same time. So he saw my frustration and he's like, no, gentlemen, let me assist you. I'm a travel agent. So we sat there, filled the details, and then I was able to go and now purchase the receipt for my US visa. Again, I would say this was luck or this was grace because I was by then going into put in F1 visa, and this would have been an immediate bounce because it was in no way correlating to a conference. So it was this gentleman who came in, helped me out, and was like, you have to go for B1, B2. And then I put it in and then filled the details. And then I got the receipt. Again, I was naive, thinking that, oh, once I have the receipt, now getting the slot will be easy for me. Oh, Patrick, I came home, the slots were all filled. Now I have to find ways and means to see how to get a slot. Then I called Apia again, and Apia is like, yo, I mean, I was able to assist you, but this time around, I cannot assist you. I mean, he's a businessman. So I will need to pay something to get a slot. And I was like, Apia, already I am also having issues with my business. I have to put in some investment. So he's like, okay, if you really, really want to get a slot, then it means you'd have to sacrifice your sleep. So that means that at night you would have to be awake, just making sure you're getting a slot by refreshing the page as many times as possible. Slot. Guess what? The slot was slated for November 24th, 2025. My conference was between 5th of August to 11th of August, 2025. And I put in that, yes, you let me just get a slot first, and then I will know what to do. And then I got 24th November. I sent in an expedited request on the Avid platform asking for a change of appointment date. And then I got 14 July 2025. I went there and yeah, I got the visa.
Okay, so tell us about the morning when you went there. Were you interviewed? How was it like? What was your appointment date and day? Okay,
Okay.
the time for the interview. How
I
was
was
the feeling like in the morning when you went?
I was slated for 11:15 a.m.
Okay.
And so on the visa application form, it stated that you need to be there 30 minutes prior to. So I remember picking my Uber, feeling all G that I'm confident I will get it because I was there in 2011. So I got there and there was this long queue. Like, Patrick, I didn't know what to do because I was like, wow, all these people coming for, and we are even the morning people, morning shift. If I should say, I should guess the number of people I saw for morning, we're like 400. Yeah, I'll say
Wow.
yes, we were a lot.
They were
And
inside or outside?
so about 150 inside and then the rest outside. it was quite scary, and having to see some of them sitting on the floor. Hey, it was like I was like, wow, we are going through this ordeal just to get a US visa, right? And anyway, I mean, I hope the foreign minister gets to see this, like hear your podcast, because again, it was that bad to get to see my fellow Ghanaians being on the floor just to wait for a chance to speak to a consul. That was overwhelming. So I remember getting in, and then they asked my credentials, and then you have to put your fingerprint in on the machine, and then you go out again. So when you go out, what they are doing is they're looking at your credentials. Before you get in, they've already tracked, they know whether to give it to you or not. The time you put in, they'll ask for your fingerprints. Bam, that is it. They know whether you are getting it or not. So we went in the second round, and this time was to face the visa consul, him or herself. And I was lucky. I got a very kind woman. She was like, "Hi, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hello, I'm good. How are you?" And she said, "I'm fantastic. Why are you here?" That's the question she asked me. And I said, "Oh, I'm here because I've been selected to participate in a global changemaker conference called the AFS Intercultural Program, where they're seeking the brightest minds, of course, to convene in New York to have the chance to network and build strategic connections." And then she said, "Have I been to any other country?" And I said, "Yes. I've been to US in 2011 and in Germany 2024, as well as Nigeria." And so I do have quite an extensive travel background. And she's like, "Okay, well, your visa has been approved. Please read through the document and you come back some other
Wow,
time. Have a good day." Yeah, yeah. It was
that
just three
was easy.
questions, and
So I'm sure because you had previous experiences, that's why they approved it for you, I guess.
but you see, Patrick, not many of us will have the luck or the chance to build our travel portfolio. And so I remember having a conversation with other Ghanaians in the States that let's say someone who hasn't gotten the chance to be in the States now wants to go to the States. How is it going to be for that person? Because many of the people that I saw at the visa at the embassy, they were being bounced because of this, because they do not have travel experience. So I think anyone who wants to travel, you also need to know the reason, Patrick. Like, for example, I wasn't doing a concert there, but when you are in the embassy, whilst you are talking and someone who is beside you, you get to hear what is going on. You are going to the States and you are asking to apply for a work visa in a time when Donald Trump is in power. Like, you need to align your visa expectations with the policies in the current dispensation or the time that you are applying for. Like, explain to me how you would get a work visa in the US at a time when immigration policies are being tightened. So unfortunately, he was bounced because the automatic response is, "We'll get back to you. We need to review your application and get back to you." I felt really sad for him, but it is what it is.
Wow, 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 I see. Okay, so take us to New York. Your first day, um, you
Uh,
landed on New York. Was it a transit or a straight flight?
it was a transit.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I remember when I got to New York, I was just playing the song New York, where countries are made of, there's nothing you can do. Now you're in New York. So that was the song that was just playing. As soon as I stepped foot in JFK Airport, the immigration control, they are hard now. I got there and they're asking me for my return ticket. They needed to see that. They opened my bags. In fact, they damaged my baggage just to see if there was anything in, or whether to know if I would really come back. Because again, I was carrying two bags for a 3.5 week trip, which was a bit suspicious. So I remember the visa consul was warning me that although I'm having a 90-day stay, if I dare overstay, I'm gonna have trouble. And I was like, sir, I do not have any intention of overstaying my current thing because I have a business in Ghana. So I was allowed to go. And because again, I had experience in Germany, the train system, I was able to navigate my way to the hotel by picking, a train to get to the hotel. And luckily, they speak English, so I was able to
Yeah.
find my
Did you
way.
go alone or you went with other team members as well?
I went alone. Yeah, I
You
traveled
always
alone.
go alone.
Yes.
Were there any other people from Ghana or you were the only Ghanaian?
There were others from Ghana, but
Oh,
I was able to go alone because I was speaking to them. So I was sending text messages of how to navigate my way. But yeah.
okay. So it seems to me like although you get opportunity, um, maybe the program will pick you to be part of the people that will travel to any of the countries. They leave you to do all your process regarding visa, traveling, and all that. All they do is to finance you.
Right, right,
Wow.
right. And so if again, we also need to ask the big question. How are they able to select people that 99% will not jackpot? Meaning they will not go and overstay and rather come back. It's because of social media. So they check your profile on LinkedIn if you have, a good number of followers, if you are a bit consistent with your post on LinkedIn, if you have a reputation at stake, like those things. So
Mm.
yeah, once you have a high chance of coming into their country, then they say, oh, this guy or this lady, if we should finance him or her, chances of him coming to my country is high because of his or her profile. And then they give you the chance.
Oh, okay. I
So
see.
Germany,
Okay.
I would say
Mhm.
Germany was my first, Schengen visa is actually the hardest to get. So
Mm.
yes, it is. Patrick, if you're getting a Schengen visa, you have to go and get your birth certificate, go and get health certificate, go and get, like, they would scrutinize you. The US visa, they just ask for your passport and then you put in some information. That's all. But a Schengen visa, you are going with birth certificate and other things like compilation. If you like, they would even ask for your religious affiliation. Like, is that serious? Yeah. And so, I mean, Germany gave me a chance and opened me up for more opportunities. Yeah.
Okay. So with the program in New York, what was the purpose for it as well? And the period was what, 4 weeks?
Yeah. So almost also, it was 1 week as well, but I extended my stay.
Okay.
And I said in Kakra. So I extended my
Mm.
stay. But it was 1 week. It was just to bring together people again from all over the world this time around to convene in New York, exchange ideas, build strategic network, and then make the world a better place. So simply that kind of ideology. Yeah.
Okay. So was there anything specific your business did or you did in particular? Was there anything specific you did?
In terms of being selected for the
And
program.
like yeah, in terms of going there, being present in person.
Yes.
What was the
So
activities?
fortunately for Merdeo Foods, we were selected as part of the top finalists in terms of social impact. And so we're the top seven finalists across the globe for this year's AFS Changemaker Award. And that meant very big. Like this, I can brag about it, even though I didn't win the final award, but I was a finalist. Media was a finalist, and that meant recognition of what we are doing in our business to promote food security and tackle post-harvest loss in Ghana. So it was huge. It was huge. We got the opportunity to be on a global stage, speaking to the international jurors and an international audience about the impact we're doing in Ghana. And it was amazing.
Okay. How many people were selected in total for the trip in New
For
York?
the scholarship, we were 100 candidates out of over 2,600 applications.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think got you the slot?
The storytelling. Honestly, Patrick, I was able to craft my application, letting them understand the impact that Merdeo is doing to promote sustainable income for the lives of smallholder farmers and how we are involved in tackling climate change through the use of connecting local farmers to market access. We are reducing post-harvest losses, and just crafting that story in that light made them to understand and feel the impact of what we are doing.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Has any of your team members in Medio been part of these trips or
No, but hopefully my operations officer has applied for an opportunity in Nairobi, Kenya. And so she will be getting a chance to go to Kenya this year.
okay, okay. So is it that when you don't have anything going on as a young person, some of these opportunities are impossible to get or what? How exactly does it work?
I mean, the Bible says that there's no food for the lazy man, or should I say to wait, like if you don't have anything to show, how can we support you? Um, yeah, so if honestly speaking, yes, there's the short answer is yes. If you don't have anything doing, you will not get a chance to go. So there are other, I mean, even if you're not interested in entrepreneurship, there are other sectors. For example, journalism, and we all know the BBC Africa Award. Now, when you get to go to London, so those of your audiences who are into journalism and writing, they get a chance to apply for such an award. There are also opportunities for artists. I mean, there was this opportunity I saw. They were giving out 50,000 US dollars in funding just because you are a creative or you are an artist or a fashion designer. So yes, there are opportunities for everybody, but you first need to have something tangible to show. Be active
Mm.
in social media. Be proud about what you're doing. Brag about it. Yes, you may think that, um, someone will say that, oh, would share to it. You are showing off or you are bragging. But these international audiences like people who are daring. They like people who are confident of themselves and know what they're about. And you need to do it, or else you will not be seen, right? Your light will not shine. And the Bible even says we need to be the light to prove to the world that we are the light, right? And yeah, once you do that, you get a chance to go.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
I see. In Ghana, how many people got a chance to go?
In Ghana, for my academy, in total, we were, I think we're five
Five.
Ghanaians
You knew them
in
already?
out of 25. So, like I said, the academy, the overall were 100 scholars or those who got grants, funding, 100. Then they divided us into tracks or academies. So in my academy, which was the Climate Entrepreneurship Academy, were 25. And out of the 25, five were Ghanaians.
You knew them already, or that was the
No, no,
first
no.
time seeing
I
them?
didn't know them.
Oh, okay. The one who sent you the link to apply, did he get a chance to go?
Yes, he went there last year. And so because he was in it, he already knew about it. So now that I'm in it, if your audience wants to go next year, I can also recommend. And then it keeps going like
Okay, okay, I
that.
see. That makes sense. So in New York, let's come to New York. What are some of the things that you identify? I'm sure New York will be easier compared to Germany because they speak English.
English.
What were the initial observations that you made when you arrived?
In New York, nobody cares. Like, in Ghana, you want to be a bit shy, because you think people are looking at you. That in New York, nobody cares. In fact,
Mm.
if you look at what someone is doing, you can be there, someone just shout, and you look, it means you are not from New York. So I needed to
Mm.
accustom myself. Yes, because if you look, then it means you're not from New York and you can be targeted by pickpockets. And yeah, so that was one observation. Two, you need to be daring. I remember going out there, getting lost in the city, because again, I wanted to go to Times Square. And so I got lost, but I dared to ask. I asked people, I asked for directions, I trusted, I put myself in the life of a stranger. I did, but at the same time, it was rewarding because I got to find myself and I got to really understand that sometimes you just need to take that trip and get to explore yourself more. And that was what made it more beautiful about this whole trip. Because aside the conference, I was able to build my confidence. I was able to make new friends. In fact, I would say I got accommodated by a stranger as well. So, yes, I didn't know this person from anywhere, and I got to be accommodated by him. So it was a great experience.
Wow, wow, wow. When you said you got lost at a point in time, did you usually move alone or you were with someone else
Yes, I
all the
was
time?
alone. I was alone.
Even your Ghanaian
Even my
counterparts?
Ghanaian friends, no, I wanted to go out there by myself once, right?
Okay,
At least without my friends. So that's when
okay,
I took a chance and I got lost some way somehow. But I was
okay.
able to find my way back. Yeah.
Wow, wow. And did you make mention of any cultural shocks in New York?
Well, the culture shock, we already do it in Ghana. It was the smoking, like everywhere they are smoking. Again, because it has been legalized,
Mm,
the marijuana. You
mm.
see, I'm still coughing. Like it was that
Hey,
bad. Yeah, I had a stubborn cough.
Akoshiri Yaba.
Make what should we, like everywhere they are smoking, and
Mm,
like it was that bad for me, and so I couldn't, and I ended up catching a stubborn cough.
mm. Um, but your initial trip to US, which city did you go? What was the city?
New York,
New York, the same New York. Okay.
New York, and Washington, D.C., but this was New York.
Okay. So prior to this current travel, were there any expectations you were having in mind? And what was the relative versus the expectation when you finally arrived?
I mean, I was able to meet all my expectations. Um, the expectation was with New Yorkers, they are more friendly and fun to be with. They are
Mm,
bold, they are daring, they are, dreamers. And
mm,
so when I go for the conference, obviously I'm going to make new friends, meet new people, have fun. And that was the same expectation. And
mm,
that expectation was the same reality I got.
mm,
So it wasn't much. I would say their food was what I didn't like.
mhm,
Um, because again, it's a country filled with lots of immigrants. They don't even have a dish that they will say is from United States of America, right? And they were just eating burgers. Most of the time at the conference, we're eating burgers, fries, burgers, fries. It was just filled with junk food. So that's
mm,
what I didn't like. And I think many Africans too were witnesses to this. Like they just said the food or the people who arranged or organized the meals didn't consider Africans. Aside,
mm, mm. So with all these your trips, has there been a shift in your perspective with all your observations around the world and all that? Has there been a shift? Would you say there's been a shift in your how you look at things now, henceforth?
yeah. In fact, with New York or in US,
Mhm,
like no opportunity will wait for you. You need to get up and go out there and fight for it. And
mm,
I would say when I came back, I've been more aggressive in
mhm,
searching for opportunities before leaving to the US, because there you will wake up like 4 a.m. You are up, you are searching for opportunities, you are looking to network with some of the big men, quote unquote, right? And that was the kind of lessons I brought here.
mhm,
Another thing is you need to be a dreamer. You need to be different, right? Before you can get these opportunities. So now I would say I'm more bold. I do not
mm,
care what people think of me. I'm a go-getter. I go for what I want. I achieve what I want. And I thank God I went, because if I hadn't gone, I wouldn't have gotten to, realize myself and the kind of
mm,
life I want to
mm,
have.
mm,
And also because you go once you go there, you get inspired because you are seeing people. You see a 12-year-old, quote unquote, driving a Mercedes. They are like 12 years is even driving, like 16 years. Yes, they are 16 years. The one who accommodated me was like 18 years. He has his own apartment. Yeah,
mm.
like people are doing things, so they are doing things. Then you come back, you're like, hey, me at 26 years, again, you're not comparing yourself, but you want to live a better life. And that in itself pushes you to go out there and fight for what you want. So
Wow.
traveling in itself really changes your perspective.
Wow. So I don't know what you think really is the thing. Because, like you just said, 16 years, 18 years, they have their own apartment living in. Yeah, but when you come here over here, the story is different. 26, 27,
Seven,
28, they are now finding their
30.
feet and all that. What's really the issue?
Okay, in my self-assessment, I would say my parents also played a factor. Why am I saying this? I think I was because I stayed with my parents, right? I feel I'm complacent, let me put it that way, right? Compared to abroad where as at 17, your parents are asking you, when are you moving out? Here,
Hmm.
it's more like stay till whenever. So for me, my
Hmm.
parents have played a factor in that complacency. And when I went there and I realized that there was a huge difference. But also, let's be honest, the states or the developed countries provide more opportunities for young people. Like the level of gatekeeping in Ghana here is so high that I don't think if it were a wall I could ever climb. Is the gate like gatekeepers keepers here? Oh no. But in USA, the gatekeeping is so low. Like everyone would want to collaborate with whoever. Like, yo, I have this opportunity. Check it out, man. It's that real. Then you check. But here, once you get the opportunity, you're keeping it to yourself because you're afraid that a wizard or a witch will take it from you. You get it. So our mindset in itself is bad. And so how then would you be able to change your level of life? Like for lack of better words.
Hmm. So if you had a chance to apply one thing that you've picked from your travels in our setting here in Ghana, what one thing would you change?
Go after everything and never re so I'll just say one thing is chase everything you've ever dreamt of. Yes. Don't be scared to receive a no or to get rejected.
Hmm.
That was one thing, genuinely, that was one thing I learned when I went there.
Wow. I see. I see. So what's next now that you are back from the New York and you are in Ghana? What should we expect next from Merdeo Foods and all the things that you are doing?
I would say bigger achievements, milestones, yes, because we've gone to the land of opportunities. So I'm just praying to my maker that all those opportunities I got from there will come to fruition and I'll be able to better the lives of smallholder farmers and make more impact in my country. It will mean so much to me that I have been able to create more jobs for young people like myself. And I've been able to make more impact in the industry that I am so passionate about, which is food. So
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm. Okay. Any final words now that we are wrapping up?
Deal with the deck of cards you have, right? If you are rich, I mean, you are lucky, right? You're privileged to have it. Accept that you are rich and use it to advance your goals. If you are someone with a bit of scarcity, then you dealing with your cards will be much different. Maybe you have a plethora of friends who are having those resources that you can leverage. So again, with a deck of cards you have, use it to your advantage. Don't be shy. If you're beautiful, use it to your advantage. If you're intelligent, use it to your advantage because the world in itself is not fair and we are all trying to get to a better place. And so my final words would be go out there, search for opportunities, and deal with your deck of cards.
Hmm. Thank you very much for this word of advice to our fellow young Ghanaians. Where do people find you? What's your social media handles? Where can people find you? And if someone wants to engage you on Merdeo Foods, how can a person get um, in touch with you and your team?
Okay, so with Merdeo Foods, our IG handle is Merdeo Foods, Merdeo Foods, Foods. For me, my personal Instagram handle will be underscore Nana Hendrix. So
Mm.
Nana Nana, then Hendrix Hendrix. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Nana Kofi Sarpong into bracket Hendrix.
Okay. Thank you very much for making the time to speak with us.
Well, thank you so much, P. I really enjoyed this interview.